Thank you so much for the invitation. And I decided finally to talk in English because despite that my mother tongue is Spanish, most of the people understand English in this room. Uh, Let me to precise some elements to analyze the policy of the President Petro and the Colombian government related to the Palestinian cause. First of all, we has been called during decades the Israel of Latin America. We have been under control of the right-wing government during 200 years. It's the first time in our history that we have a leftist government, the first time. Previously, we have governments really related to the Israeli Zionism, depending only on the USA policy. We create not only a policy, an internal policy, but also a cultural approach, which were based in the idea that Israel was a democracy, was based in the theory of war on terror, according to all the Arabs are terrorists. And we also don't pay too much attention to international law. That's why when we come to the power 3 years ago, was really a big challenge to create a multilateral approach about international relations, but also how to analyze the Palestinian conflict, the Palestinian situation, and the Palestinian crisis. As you may remember, before the campaign of the resistance in October 2023, 1 month before, the President Petro proposed in the United Nations General Assembly one international conference to look for solution of the Palestinian situation. It was 1 month before. Once the attack was made as a result of many years of occupation, we decided to send humanitarian supplies to Gaza. We arrived to Al Arish. In that moment, it was not possible to arrive directly to Gaza. And it was part of the idea of humanitarian assistance. Let's say that it was the first approach. But we were not just trapped in this humanitarian situation because we have to admit that the humanitarian has a role and is important and is essential, but cannot be the final and the lasting answer for the Palestinian questions. Later, we decide to evaluate properly the relationship between Colombia and Israel. And one of the biggest topic was the production of weapons. We were buying weapons, but also we bought the patent to make weapons. When I say we, is the Colombian state, no, our current government. And Colombia was selling weapons, especially the rifle Galil, that was they finished the ensemble of the rifle in Israel and was involved in the killing of the Palestinian people. Means Colombia had produced weapons to kill Palestinians. Colombia has a strong relationship with the Mossad and CIA. Even if you may remember, the Colombian paramilitary groups were created by some officer of the Israeli army. In this context, we came to the power and we start fighting for how to analyze beyond the humanitarian aid our role. And this is important. We don't deny the importance of humanitarian role, but United Nations is not an NGO. And the NGO also has the right to talk about human rights. It's not only about humanitarian issues. In other words, we cannot replace the rights of the Palestinian just for some packets of rice. Well, in this sense, Colombia has decided not to buy any more weapons and not to sell any more weapons to Israel. But it was a huge challenge because we were labeled as the best ally of Israel in the region. Later on, the President Petro have decided not to sell any more coal. Approximately between 60 and 70% of the coal consumed by Israel was produced in Colombia. Unfortunately, there was some kind of mistake in the formulation of the provision, the legal provision, and we have to make a second resolution, internal one, asking to stop, as we did right now, any kind of selling of coal to Israel. Later on, we also evaluate the possibility that Israel will break the humanitarian ceasefire ordered by the that the Security Council in March last year, 2024. And the President Petro was clear to say, if Israel doesn't respect this ceasefire imposed by United Nations, we will cut relationship with Israel. And we did. It was the 2nd of May last year. We decided to break relationship to cut diplomatic relation with Israel. We have, anyway, we have some consulate services for obvious reason. We have 2,000 Colombian Palestinians living in West Bank. Later on, we decide also to join the international court of justice process headed by South Africa for genocide against Israel before the International Court of Justice. And we start taking part in this process. But also this year, January 2025, we create with South Africa a group of countries called Hague Group. The Hague Group is an initiative. In the first meeting was just 9 countries. Right now it's 32 countries that try to push, not for the creation of new law. We don't need more law. I think that is totally clear in the international arena what is the legal situation of the settlements, the wall, the right to right to return of the refugee people, the illegal annexation of territory, the situation of Jerusalem, the illegality of the settlement. This is absolutely clear. And what we as Colombians said, as well as some other countries of the Hague Group, is we don't need more papers. We need realities. That's why we, let's say, we push our efforts in this kind of actions. Also, we have been sending humanitarian aid through different channels, and we success. It's not too much, but we success to guarantee some food distribution and medical access to the people there in Palestine, helping some local NGOs. This is really important because we desire a mechanism of solidarity between the Palestinian people and the Colombian government, not going through the typical framework of indicator and blah, blah, and papers. We're in the middle of the genocide. How can I demand for a director of a hospital in Gaza, give me please a report for the donor? Really, this is something that is sad and is even able to demand reports as if we are in normal time. This logic of the NGOs in the North-South cooperation. We will try to create also another kind of South-South cooperation. We have decided also to establish a visa. Before all this situation, the Israeli citizen may come to Colombia without visa, but we decide to impose visa also to prevent that some of these war criminals are coming to Colombia just for vacation and for holidays in the Caribbean area. We identify that some of them has been these kind of people that used to commit crimes in Gaza and later to publish in Instagram their own crimes, and later put some picture in lovely cities of Colombia just as a tourist. Also, we decided to renegotiate the free trade agreement between Colombia and Israel. And this is what is going on right now with the support of the Minister of Justice. We have another considerations. Let me see. For instance, we established a new policy related to Jerusalem. We were based on a policy based on what Washington said about Jerusalem, and Colombia has created their own statement based on international law. Also, about the two-state solution, for us, it's not matter of one state or two state. It's matter of what kind of state. Doesn't matter one state. Imagine one state. South Africa was one state during the apartheid, but we are against one state that doesn't recognize full rights for the Palestinian people. Or two states, but if this Palestinian state, under the logic of two states, will be without army, without currency, without ports without autonomy, without sovereignty, it is not a two-state solution either. We try to go beyond the discussion between one state and two states. Also, we has been establishing some kind of cooperation with Qatar, Jordan, and Egypt. We were negotiating that in order to develop some programs, some humanitarian programs, in order to support the Palestinian refugees that are living in Qatar, Jordan, or Egypt. Just in Egypt is more than 100,000 people, Palestinian people living there. Also, our national TV channel, the official one, has been covering all the situation in Palestine. For instance, all the Global Sumud Flotilla has been really informed to the Colombian society about what is going on. And we are working with the Ministry of Education about some scholarship for the Palestinian people. That is other of our current activities. Let me think what more. Well, in general, has been this kind of actions that we create an embassy, the Colombian embassy before the Palestinian state, but unfortunately, there is not authorization of the Israeli government to go inside Ramallah in order to present the credentials. There, we have an ambassador, a nominated ambassador of Colombia before the Palestinian government, but without possibility to establish an embassy, a proper embassy in Ramallah. We have been also supporting our relationship with the civil society, the Colombian civil society, about different activities that allow us to have a really great combination between our activities as a state and support the activities of the civil society, always respecting the civil society approach. I think that to put all of this together in only one basket is not a good idea, not for the government, neither for the civil society. With this idea, I think that the Colombian government is going beyond humanitarian aid, try to explore legal statements, try to explore commercial environment, legal environment, diplomatic environment, cultural environment, in order to provide a really full solidarity. Finally, let me mention that we were in New York and we presented a proposal to take again in consideration the resolution 377 related to the Uniting for Peace. This proposal, as was mentioned before, for sure in this forum, is to invoke the capacity of the General Assembly to take part in the debate of use of force for Gaza, just because of the Security Council has been blocked. As you may notice, is 52 times that Israel blocked any possibility in the recent days, in the recent years, of Israel to be punished because of the crimes, the war crimes in Gaza and in all Palestine. Well, in this aspect, the President Petro has become some kind of referent. We are trying to do our best. It's not easy. Let me say something that can be used against me. We have still Zionism elements in our government. It's true. The state has not been reformed as should be. We have a lot of things to be done and to be corrected. One of them is our visa policy. Unfortunately, our Minister of Foreign Affairs is based on the logic of the Cold War. We have a lot of things to be done, but I think that in general, we try to do more than statements, more than papers, and we have different open fronts. Because of that, the President Petro has been accused to be drugs dealer. He was including the clean list in the list, Clinton list recently, and they try to isolate the Colombian government for the rest of the world. Then to take part in this meeting and in another meetings on behalf of the Colombian government is also an honor, but also an opportunity to break this kind of isolation policy imposed by USA related to the Colombian government. Well, that's I wanted to express my solidarity for my gratitude for the organizers to take me into account in this table, and we will continue on behalf of the Colombian government with our activities. Please count on us, and thank you so much.